Hey there, I am back with another deck review, and today I'm going to be looking at chicken playing cards from playingcarddex.com and designer Susan Krupp. Now, as you might have guessed from the tuck case, this is inspired by none other than the chicken. That's it. It's a simple theme to the deck, but really interesting to see how thoroughly that's incorporated throughout this entire deck. So let's jump right into it. So starting with the tuck case here, it is a regular glossy finish tuck case, no embossing or anything. It says chicken in this sort of sunrise color up here at the top, and then playing cards at the bottom. Has a very large spade pit there, and it's got this sort of flourish, an asymmetrical flourish of a chicken feather that's forming that color back there. Kind of a really cool look to it there. The background is all turquoise, and then it's framed up by this slightly darker but very intricate scroll work, kind of a paisley pattern going around the edge. So there is the front of the tuck case. Really nice looking, a lot of detail that went into it. On the sides here, you got linen finish made in the USA with a feather in the center. And the other side, Susan Krupp and poker size. Ad copy on the bottom mentions playingcarddex.com and USPCC, who printed the deck. And then on the top, we've got poker size and limited edition. So this is Susan Krupp's first deck that she ever made, limited to just 1,000 decks, never to be reprinted. Back is going to be the back design of the cards, which we'll look more closely at in a second. And then you have just a regular black tuck seal there, standard for USPCC. So that is it for the outside of the tuck case. As you open this up here, you have the 4 suits on the inner flap here. So each one of the pips here is printed on an egg, which is sitting on a little pedestal. And you've got the clubs, hearts, spades, and diamonds. And then each one, that kind of tie-dye looking color there, is formed by a chicken feather, some kind of really colored chicken feather. So there is that. And then on the smaller flaps here, you have an ace of spades reveal. Interesting spot to put a little extra reveal. There's that. And then nothing printed on the interior of the tuck case. A very interesting tuck case. A lot going on for such a simple theme. Really a lot going on there. Looking at the cards themselves, we'll start with the backs. So here it is. And you've got kind of a scene of chickens playing poker or some kind of card game here. If they're playing poker, that chicken right there is cheating. Looks like he's kind of passing a card to the guy next to him. But you can see them each holding their hands and sitting around this little barrel table here. Has a nest in the middle, and then the same scene is reflected on the other side to make a two-way back design. Always preferred. And then they're surrounded by this sort of psychedelic, I'll call it, effect of this repeated pattern of feathers that's framing up the entire thing. So it kind of creates this very hypnotic effect here. A lot going on. Gives it a really busy look, I think, which is both interesting, but maybe a little bit distracting with just how much is going on there. You do have a turquoise, medium to thick poker border going around the edge, and always a nice touch. That poker border does match the color of the faces of the cards that we'll see in a second. So there is the back design. Looking at the extra cards, here are your 2 jokers. So they both feature a fox dressed in kind of a period costume. He's standing next to a cage, but in the red joker, that cage has a chicken on the inside. And on the black joker, looks like something has happened to the chicken. Fox looks a little bit happier, flurry of feathers flying around. Not too sure what happened there, but clearly the fox pretty happy about it. You have kind of a white, almost watermark effect of feathers going on in the background, and then Joker is written on the 2 eggs in the corner. You also do have a little bit of an extra card reveal at the base here. So you got an 8 of spades on one Joker, and then an 8 of clubs on the other Joker. So extra little reveal that you can use in tricks there. There's the 2 Jokers. Other extra cards you get 1 double backer, and then you get something I haven't seen in too many decks, a double Joker card, a double-faced Joker card. So here is that. It's the same design on both sides. Features a one-way design of a jester chicken kind of balancing on this cracked egg down here and then holding a golden egg in his hands. And he's kind of wearing pants made out of an eggshell. So there is your extra double-faced Joker card. Not too sure how you can use that, but I'm sure there are interesting ways you can use that in a magic trick. The rest of the deck, so it is a full custom deck, all done with a turquoise background. Every single card, starting here with the Ace of Spades, is going to have this kind of white faded feather pattern going on in the background. Kind of a mirror of what you saw in the back with that, just done in a white watermark effect. The Ace of Spades is going to feature a very large spade pip with that chicken feather in the background, and then a very large A in the center, where the center line of the A is formed by the shadow of a feather. The pips and indices in the corner are going to be written on these sort of egg pedestals up here, and going to be all fully custom as well. All of the number cards are also going to be custom, so they feature those colorized or feather colored, I'll call them, spade pips in a fairly standard orientation, but then the feather repeated pattern background and the eggs in the corner for all of the number cards. And then as you get to the courts, interesting again, they're all going to feature, of course, more chickens. Every single court is going to be unique, feature a different variety of chicken, and they're going to be on all different poses. A lot of times you'll see them wearing costumes like the royalty that they are. So chickens from around the world. You've got them, wearing crowns or seated in thrones here like you got with the Queen of Spades. So there are your black courts. Here's your Ace of Diamonds. So all four aces are going to be the same kind of design with the large A in the center with the feather, the large pip in the background with the chicken feather coloring, and then the Ace of Diamonds in the corner. So all your aces are going to continue that same pattern, full custom on all the aces. And then there are your red number cards. And then of course down to more chickens. I love the dedication to make sure that every single one of the courts was completely unique. Never seen that chicken. That's an interesting looking chicken here. And then there are your club courts. Also really like that they did two-way designs in all these. Just very interesting, unique chickens to look at. So not all of them are going to be wearing crowns. Some of them are going to be wearing kind of masks, like they're coming out of a masquerade ball there. This one's holding a golden egg there. And then here are your club number cards. There's your Ace of Clubs. And then down to the heart courts. And all the way through to the Ace of Hearts. So that is it. That is the deck. As far as handling, it's a bicycle printed deck. This is on a much thinner stock than you would get like in a regular retail deck, but handles really, really nicely. It's going to work very well for cardistry or anything like that you want to use it for. Fans, cuts, everything. Really, really nice with this. No complaints at all with that. As far as usage for the deck, it's definitely an interesting art deck, I will say. The artwork style I'm sure is not going to be for everybody. There's a lot of detail that goes into it, but it's definitely an interesting conversation piece kind of deck. If you pulled this out for game night, would definitely start a conversation. You could definitely use this for cardistry. It just, it handles really nicely, has some interesting patterns. I suppose you could use this for Magic. It has some interesting reveals and gaffs that you don't see in all the decks. So definitely a deck you could use for a lot of things. But absolutely, the deck itself is going to be, I'll call it a distractor from whatever you're using it for. So if you're using it for game night, people are going to be looking at the deck rather than thinking about the game. So you got to take that into account. It's so custom and so unique that the deck itself is going to start those conversations. So take that into account when you're thinking about how to use this. But definitely a standout deck, one that's going to have an interesting place in any collection. The color scheme, the artwork, the interesting courts, really just an interesting deck. So I'll put a link to where you can check this out on playingcarddecks.com if you are interested. They are still available there. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you have other questions, decks you want to see, anything like that. Subscribe for more content in the future, unboxings, reviews, things like that. And I will see you for the next one.